Hey Raider Nation, it's Joseph here for Zenny62. So we just got through OTAs and we're moving in next week to a mandatory minicamp. Now, one of the things I want to bring up was there's a few players that didn't show up for OTAs. One of those in particular is Josh Jacobs. Now, should we be concerned about that? When you look at the overall picture, not necessarily, because OTAs was just an opportunity to kind of get your feet wet before minicamp. But when you stop to consider the Raider situation and the situation that Josh Jacobs himself put himself into, you stop and you start to think whether or not there's an issue here that may or may not be forming. Now, as we know, back in January, Josh got pulled over for driving while intoxicated. Whether or not he was charged with that, it might have been, that already was taken care of, regardless of that. But what are the optics that Josh is actually giving the Raiders when he knew he got in a little bit of trouble? And then here comes OTAs. We signed Kenyan Drake when he knows that Kenyan Drake's another Alabama running back. He's a very reputable running back. You would want to at least show up to OTAs, let the Raiders know, hey, I'm all in. Let's get this thing rolling. And, I'm here for the OTAs. Let's squash or forget what happened to me in January. You would think he would be vested in trying to put his best foot forward. Now, I wonder if Josh is just distracted. He is 23 years old. Not to make any excuses for anybody who's young or anything of that nature, but I remember in the offseason, he kept tweeting about how, we should have different jerseys than all black jersey. We should do that and do this. In my thought process, forget about changing the uniform. The uniform is great the way it is. Why don't you focus on winning? Let's focus on winning. Let's focus on winning a playoff game before we decide we're going to change uniforms or redo our uniforms. Let's focus. What are the priorities here? So one of the things I thought maybe be an issue, and when you stop to consider this particular point I'm going to make, everything might be falling into order with regards to this issue I'm going to bring up. And that's how much we signed Kenyan Drake for. He signed for $11 million. Josh signed, I believe it was his 4-year contract or 3-year contract, 3 or 4 years. It was $11 million and some change. He got a $6 million signing bonus. This year he's making like 2.9. And so is it a money issue at play? Maybe not, but something to think about. Is he unhappy with possibly sharing the backfield with another Alabama running back who is of significance, like a Kenyan Drake? I don't see why that should be an issue. Back in the heyday in Los Angeles when the Raiders played there, they both had Marcus Allen and Bo Jackson. Those are two legends. Why not, kind of ingratiate yourself in the system that, wow, we have two great running backs. And the reason why I bring up that potentially he may be a holdout is that another player that was essentially, when you sign Kenyan Drake, you realize, well, we have extra running backs who we don't necessarily need. We need, cap space. And I thought for sure Jalen Richard would have been the victim of that. And he's still on the team. So could this mean potentially that Josh Jacobs will be a holdout? We'll find out next week. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully he just had some other issues or family things going on where he couldn't show up to OTAs. But when you stop and consider all the transactions that were made during free agency, after the draft, and you would think the incident that he had back in January, that this would be a good opportunity to put your best foot forward. Now, as fans, we don't know if he contacted the Raiders, say, hey, I'll be there for minicamp, I have some other things going on. It's just speculation. It's something to think about, something to maybe digest, and let's hope for the best come next week. Keep it here on Zenny62, and don't forget to like and subscribe.